I'm grateful you joined tonight, right now, while you rest in darkness. Plants across the world are breathing, growing, and quietly repairing themselves in ways science is only beginning to understand. You'll discover what forests do when no one is watching, and learn why nighttime might be when nature does its most important work. Welcome to Get Sleepy Science. Wherever you are right now, perhaps noticing the quiet darkness outside your window, or feeling the stillness of night settling around you, allow yourself to rest in this peaceful moment. We'll discover 100 nature facts about the secret life of plants after dark, from leaves folding themselves to sleep, to roots growing faster in darkness, to the invisible chemistry happening inside every green cell while the world dreams. These calm explorations of Earth's wisdom plant seeds of tranquility in restless hearts. A gentle like. Subscribe or sharing your thoughts creates a pathway for more nature lovers to discover and brings us closer to protect this healing ground. One sleepy soul at a time, your presence here nurtures our growing forest of peace. Sink into your favorite resting spot. Allow your muscles to release, each breath growing softer. There's no need to remember these botanical facts. Just notice that warm, drowsy calm washing over you, like gentle ocean waves pulling back from shore, each one drawing you deeper into restful, effortless sleep. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're resting where ancient trees whisper secrets of eternal wisdom. Let your mind sink with nature's calm. And now we begin. Right now, as darkness settles across forests and gardens, something fascinating begins. Plants that appeared motionless all day start to move. According to research published in Nature Communications, plants exhibit what scientists call nictinastic movements, the folding and repositioning of leaves and petals in response to the day-night cycle. These aren't random droops caused by lack of sunlight. They're precisely coordinated movements controlled by specialized cells at the base of each leaf stem, called pulvini, which regulate water pressure to create motion. Prayer plants fold their leaves upward, like hands in prayer. Mimosa plants close their leaflets. Clover tucks its leaves together. This happens in your houseplants, in tropical rainforests, in desert shrubs. As you prepare for sleep, millions of plants around the world are doing the same thing, shifting into their nighttime position, entering their own version of rest. But why do plants move at night? For decades, botanists assumed these movements helped reduce water loss or protect leaves from cold. Recent studies from the Max Planck Institute suggest something more sophisticated. Plants fold their leaves at night to optimize their internal circadian rhythms. By changing their surface area and orientation, they regulate their own temperature and metabolic rate. Some leaves fold upward to retain warmth radiating from the ground. Others fold downward to avoid frost formation. The wood sorrel plant, studied extensively in recent years, folds its leaves to create tiny pockets of still air that act as insulation. Each species has evolved its own sleep posture, refined over millions of years. These movements aren't responses to darkness itself. They're anticipations of it, driven by an internal biological clock that keeps time even in constant conditions. That internal clock is astonishingly precise. Plant biologists at the University of Cambridge discovered that some plants can predict sunrise remarkably accurately, even when kept in complete darkness for weeks. using their internal biological clocks. The mechanism involves special proteins called phytochromes, which act as molecular light switches during the day. Sunlight converts these proteins from one form to another. At night, they slowly convert back. The plant measures time by tracking this chemical oscillation. It's similar to how you might feel sleepy at the same time each evening, even without looking at a clock. This biological timekeeper allows plants to prepare for dawn hours before the sun actually rises. Photosynthesis enzymes start positioning themselves. Stomata, tiny breathing pores, prepare to open. The plant readies itself for the work of daylight while still wrapped in darkness. While you sleep, plants are breathing differently than they do during the day. Photosynthesis stops without sunlight, but respiration continues. In fact, it intensifies. Research from the Carnegie Institution found that some plant species actually increase their metabolic rate at night, burning stored sugars to fuel growth and cellular repair. Every leaf, every root, every flower is quietly consuming oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Just like you. The forest around you isn't holding its breath in darkness. It's exhaling, processing, living. Trees in particular show remarkable nighttime respiratory activity. A mature oak tree can release several pounds of carbon dioxide over a single night, converting the solar energy it collected during the day into the structural growth that builds its wood, one cell at a time. This nighttime respiration serves a crucial purpose. According to findings published in Plant Physiology, plants use the darkness hours to redistribute the sugars they made during photosynthesis. Nutrients flow from leaves down to roots, from older growth to newer shoots, from storage organs to growing tips. The plant is essentially digesting its daily harvest, breaking down complex carbohydrates and rooting them where they're needed most. Young leaves, growing at branch tips, receive extra fuel. Roots extending into new soil get their supply. Flowers preparing to bloom draw on reserves. This internal supply chain operates most efficiently at night when the plant isn't simultaneously trying to capture new energy from the sun. The darkness isn't downtime. It's redistribution time. Logistics and planning. Preparation for tomorrow's growth. And growth itself happens surprisingly fast after dark. A study using time-lapse imaging at the University of California revealed that many plants grow more during nighttime hours than during the day. Bamboo shoots, measured with precise laser sensors, showed peak growth during the darkest hours of night. Cornstalks displayed similar patterns just before dawn. The researchers discovered that cell division, the fundamental process of getting bigger, occurs most actively when plants aren't busy with photosynthesis. It's as if the plant is either capturing energy or using it, but rarely doing both at full intensity simultaneously. So while you sleep and grow through cellular repair, the plant in your bedroom is also growing, stretching imperceptibly upward in the darkness, adding microscopic layers to its leaves and stems, building itself slowly toward the light. Even roots follow this nighttime growth pattern. According to research from the John Innes Center, root tips grow in pulses that peak during dark hours. Scientists monitored individual root hairs, the tiny absorbing threads that drink water from soil, and found they elongate fastest around 2 or 3 a.m. The timing makes biological sense. Soil is often cooler and more moist at night. making it easier for delicate root tissues to push through. There's less evaporation pulling water away from the root zone. The plant concentrates its growth energy downward when conditions are optimal, while you lie still. The roots beneath every plant on Earth are creeping through darkness, extending fingertips into the soil, searching for water and minerals, growing the hidden half of the plant that no one sees. Some plants do more than just grow at night. They quietly capture prey. Recent studies on carnivorous plants have revealed fascinating nocturnal behaviors. Venus flytraps, monitored with infrared cameras, show increased trigger sensitivity after dark. Their trap hairs become more responsive to touch, and the snapping mechanism operates slightly faster. Researchers believe this adaptation targets nocturnal insects, which are more abundant in evening hours. Pitcher plants secreting digestive enzymes were found to release more fluid at night, creating deeper pools inside their traps. Even sundews, those sparkling, sticky-leaved plants, appear to reset their adhesive droplets during darkness, preparing fresh glue for the next day's prey. The boundary between plant and animal blurs in these species that wait in darkness, patient and ready, more active when the sun disappears. Meanwhile, most plants are engaged in a different kind of chemistry after dark, without sunlight driving photosynthesis. Plants switch metabolic pathways. Chloroplasts, those tiny green organelles that capture light, begin repairing themselves at night. According to recent research in Nature Plants, chloroplasts sustain damage during the intense work of converting sunlight to sugar. Proteins degrade, membranes become stressed, so when darkness falls, special repair enzymes activate, patching molecular damage, replacing worn components, preparing the photosynthetic machinery for another day. It's similar to how your brain clears waste products during sleep, or how your muscles repair microscopic tears. The plant is maintaining itself, running diagnostics, fixing what broke during the day. By dawn, the chloroplasts are refreshed and ready. This invisible maintenance work happens in every leaf, every night, keeping the machinery of life functioning smoothly. So yes, plants are already revealing their secret nighttime lives, showing us they move, breathe, grow, capture prey, and repair themselves in darkness. The forest isn't sleeping in any passive sense. It's actively engaged in a parallel schedule, a nocturnal routine as structured as your own. When you close your eyes, plants around the world are opening their internal processes to the night, responding to the same cues, the same rotation of Earth, the same transition from light to dark. You're falling asleep at the same moment that leaves are folding, roots are extending, and cellular repair is accelerating inside every green thing. The world doesn't pause when darkness comes. It simply shifts into a different rhythm, one that science is only now learning to observe and understand with patience and precision. One of the most surprising nocturnal activities involves communication. Plants release different chemical signals at night compared to daytime. Research from the University of Washington discovered that some trees emit volatile organic compounds, airborne chemicals, in greater quantities after sunset. These molecules travel through the air and soil, potentially warning neighboring plants of insect damage or disease. The messages float through darkness like invisible whispers, A willow tree damaged by caterpillars releases a specific scent cocktail that causes nearby willows to increase their production of defensive compounds. Even before the insects arrive, this early warning system operates most actively at night when air is still and cool, allowing the chemical signals to travel further without being dispersed by wind or broken down by intense sunlight. Flowers have their own nighttime secrets. Many species time their blooming precisely to darkness hours: night-blooming jasmine, evening primrose, and moonflowers open their petals after sunset and close before dawn. Studies published in recent years revealed that these plants synchronize their blooming with the activity patterns of their specific pollinators: moths, bats, and nocturnal insects. The timing is so precise that some flowers begin releasing fragrance 30 minutes before they fully open, advertising their presence in advance. The scent molecules are often different from day-blooming flowers: heavier, muskier, more persistent in cool night air. These plants have evolved entire strategies around darkness, blooming when competition for pollinators is lower and when their specific partners are most active, flying through shadows guided by scent rather than color. The nocturnal pollination networks are surprisingly complex. Hawk moths, one of the most important night pollinators, visit hundreds of flowers per night, creating invisible highways of pollen transfer through the darkness. Research tracking moths with tiny radio tags showed they follow consistent routes between particular plants, remembering locations and returning nightly. The plants these moths visit have adapted specifically for them: long tubular flowers matching the moth's extended tongues, pale colors visible in moonlight, and landing platforms sturdy enough for hovering insects while you sleep. This entire economy operates in your garden, in nearby fields, in distant forests. Pollen moves from flower to flower. Seeds are conceived. The reproductive life of plants unfolds in darkness, facilitated by creatures you rarely see, completing cycles essential for forests, crops, and wildflowers. Even plants that don't bloom at night are busy with reproductive preparation. Pollen tubes, microscopic tunnels that deliver sperm cells to plant eggs, grow fastest in darkness, according to studies from Tokyo University. After a pollen grain lands on a flower stigma during the day, it begins growing a tube down through the flower's style tissue toward the ovary. This journey can take hours or even days, and much of the growth happens at night. The cells at the tube tip extend more rapidly in cooler temperatures and higher humidity, both typical of nighttime conditions. So fertilization itself is partly a nocturnal process, the creation of seeds occurring while the world sleeps, hidden inside flowers that appear perfectly still from the outside. Beneath your feet, an entire underground network becomes more active at night. Mycorrhizal fungi, microscopic threads that connect plant roots in symbiotic partnerships, show increased nutrient transfer during dark hours. Research using radioactive tracers demonstrated that carbon moves more freely through fungal networks at night, flowing from plant to plant through the soil. A large tree might share sugar with smaller seedlings in the understory. Fungi trade nitrogen and phosphorus to plants in exchange for carbohydrates. The forest floor is alive with chemical commerce. Invisible transactions occurring in complete darkness. These fungal networks, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web, operate continuously. but the flow intensifies after sunset when plants have finished photosynthesis and can spare resources for their underground partners. Cooperation happens in darkness. Mutual support systems working while you sleep. Trees in particular demonstrate remarkable nighttime activity. Recent LiDAR studies, which use laser pulses to measure forest structure, revealed that tree trunks actually shrink slightly during the day and expand at night. The change is tiny, perhaps a millimeter or two, but consistent across many species. During daylight, water is pulled upward through the trunk toward leaves, where it evaporates. This creates tension, literally stretching the wood. At night, when evaporation slows, the trunk relaxes and rehydrates, swelling back to its resting diameter. Researchers from ETH Zurich monitoring beech trees found these daily rhythms are so reliable they can indicate the tree's health status. A tree that doesn't expand at night might be experiencing drought, stress, or disease. The forest breathes in and out, expanding and contracting with the cycle of light and dark. Water movement itself changes dramatically after sunset. During the day, transpiration, the evaporation of water from leaves, creates a powerful upward pull that can lift water hundreds of feet from roots to treetop. But at night, this hydraulic tension eases. Stomata close on most plants, reducing water loss. According to studies published in New Phytologist, this allows plants to refill their internal water reserves, rehydrating tissues that became slightly depleted during the day. Leaves become more turgid, firmer with internal water pressure. Stems straighten. Even flowers that wilted slightly in afternoon heat regain their rigid structure. The plant is literally drinking itself full again overnight, preparing its hydraulic system for the next day's demands, restoring the water pressure needed to keep cells inflated and functional. Some plants take unusual approaches to nighttime water management. Desert succulents like cacti and agave use a specialized photosynthetic pathway called CAM, crassulacean acid metabolism. These plants keep their stomata closed during the hot day to prevent water loss. Then open them at night when it's cooler. They capture carbon dioxide in darkness and store it in special acids. Then use it for photosynthesis the next day when sunlight is available. Research from the Desert Botanical Garden showed that CAM plants can reduce water loss by up to 90% compared to regular plants. This nocturnal breathing strategy evolved independently in multiple plant families, allows life to persist in places where daytime conditions would be lethal. The desert at night belongs to plants that learn to breathe in darkness. The chemical composition inside plant cells shifts throughout the night. Starch, the storage form of sugar, breaks down into simpler compounds that can fuel nighttime metabolism. Scientists at the University of Cambridge studying Arabidopsis plants discovered that plants measure their starch reserves at dusk and calculate the breakdown rate needed to last until dawn. If a plant has large starch stores, it metabolizes them slowly. If reserves are low, it rations more carefully. The plant is doing mathematics, dividing its energy supply by the hours until sunrise, adjusting its metabolic rate accordingly. This computational ability happens at the molecular level, without neurons or consciousness. Yet it's sophisticated enough to anticipate dawn and avoid running out of fuel before photosynthesis can resume. Biology solving calculus in the dark. Defensive chemicals also follow nocturnal rhythms. Many plants produce compounds that deter herbivores. Bitter alkaloids, toxic proteins, or unpleasant terpenes. According to research from the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, some of these defensive compounds reach peak concentrations at night. When nocturnal herbivores are most active, tomato plants studied under controlled conditions increased their production of protease inhibitors, proteins that interfere with insect digestion during dark hours. The timing suggests plants anticipate attacks from night-feeding caterpillars and beetles. Chemical warfare is scheduled. Defensive preparations happening in darkness when the risk is highest. The plant is arming itself overnight, producing molecular deterrents that make its leaves less palatable, its tissues more toxic, its survival more likely when dawn arrives and reveals whatever damage occurred in darkness. Leaves themselves regulate their internal temperature at night through subtle movements and orientation changes. Thermographic imaging studies showed that some plants angle their leaves to maximize heat retention in cold nights or increase cooling on warm nights. In tropical regions, large-leaved plants like elephant ears position themselves to catch cool breezes. In temperate zones during spring, young leaves curl slightly to trap warmth near their surface. These aren't conscious decisions, but they're adaptive responses that improve survival. The plant is thermoregulating, maintaining optimal temperatures for cellular processes that can't stop just because sunlight isn't available. Every plant is engaged in microscopic climate control, managing its own energy budget, balancing the need for biochemical activity against the cost of maintaining living tissue through the long hours of darkness, when energy can only be spent, never gained. Chlorophyll itself undergoes nocturnal transformations. This green pigment that defines plant life is actually quite unstable, constantly breaking down and being rebuilt. Studies using advanced spectroscopy revealed that chlorophyll molecules damaged by intense light are dismantled at night and their components recycled. The magnesium atom at the center of each chlorophyll molecule is carefully extracted and reused. The complex ring structure is broken down into simpler compounds. Then, fresh chlorophyll is assembled, using the recycled parts plus new materials imported from elsewhere in the cell. This molecular renovation happens in darkness when the chlorophyll isn't needed for light capture. By dawn, the chloroplasts contain fresh pigment molecules, restored and ready. The green you see in leaves is constantly renewed, rebuilt night after night, molecule by molecule, in a process invisible to human observation. Gene expression patterns change dramatically from day to night. Thousands of genes switch on at sunset and off at sunrise, while others follow the opposite pattern. Research published in Cell identified circadian-controlled genes in plants that regulate everything from metabolism to stress responses to growth hormones. These genes are controlled by a molecular clock, a feedback loop of proteins that takes roughly 24 hours to complete one cycle. The clock proteins activate certain genes during the day and suppress them at night, then reverse the pattern. This means the plant is fundamentally different at night, not just in behavior, but in which portions of its genetic code are actively being read and translated into proteins. The plant at midnight is expressing a different version of itself than the plant at noon, running a different genetic program. Some trees can sense the lunar cycle. Research on mangrove trees found they adjust their growth patterns based on tidal rhythms linked to moon phases. Cellular division rates increase during spring tides when water levels are highest. and decreased during neap tides. The trees were somehow measuring the 14-day cycle from new moon to full moon and back. The mechanism isn't fully understood. It might involve tidal water pressure, subtle light differences from moonlight, or magnetic field variations. But the correlation was clear across multiple species and locations. Trees growing in tidal zones have adapted to a monthly rhythm in addition to their daily circadian cycle. They keep time across multiple scales simultaneously, tracking both the day-night cycle and the phases of the moon. These observations reveal that plants experience time in ways we're only beginning to understand. They track daily light cycles, anticipate seasonal changes, measure lunar phases, and even respond to the lengthening or shortening of days as Earth's tilt changes through the year. Plants don't just passively respond to darkness. They actively use it, timing essential processes to night hours, coordinating internal rhythms with external cues, preparing for the next day during the current night. The activity is purposeful, organized, sophisticated. While you rest, plants around the world are engaged in their own version of night work. Maintenance, growth, defense, communication, reproduction. The pattern is emerging. Darkness isn't the absence of botanical life, but a different expression of it. Equally vital, equally active, simply hidden from casual observation by the very darkness that enables it. Let's pause here and notice your body. As you breathe out slowly, appreciate each tiny cell inside. Trillions of organisms working in silence. Heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. You are a complete ecosystem, diverse, self-balancing, connected to the same planetary rhythms that guide plants through their nights. Now we continue. Plants and insects dance together through the darkness. Moths aren't the only night visitors. Beetles, flies, even some wasps have nocturnal species that feed on flowers. Studies using motion-activated cameras in meadows revealed diverse pollinators working in darkness. Slugs were found carrying pollen on their bodies as they moved across flowers. Earwigs, considered pests by most gardeners, visited night-blooming flowers and transferred pollen between them. Even cockroaches in tropical regions serve as pollinators for certain palm species. The nocturnal pollination network is more diverse than scientists previously thought, with hundreds of insect species playing roles in plant reproduction. These interactions happen quietly, without fanfare, while you sleep. Insects crawling across petals in moonlight, ensuring the next generation of flowers will bloom. Nectar production itself follows a night schedule in many plants. According to research on honeysuckle, these flowers produce nectar in pulses, with the highest sugar concentrations occurring between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. The timing matches peak activity periods for their moth pollinators. The plant isn't just waiting passively with a standing reservoir. It's actively secreting sweet liquid at specific hours, adjusting the concentration and volume based on time of night. Some flowers even vary their nectar chemistry between early and late evening, possibly to attract different pollinator species at different times. This scheduling requires precise internal timing and resource management. Producing sugar-rich nectar exactly when it's most likely to be collected and rewarded with pollination services. The fragrance molecules that flowers release at night are chemically different from day scents. Night-blooming flowers produce compounds called heavy volatiles, larger, more complex molecules that linger in cool air rather than dispersing quickly. Research analyzing evening primrose and night jasmine found high concentrations of benzyl acetate, linalool, and farnesene, molecules that smell sweet, heady, almost intoxicating to human noses. These compounds are designed for moth and bat olfactory systems, which are highly sensitive to certain molecular structures. The scent can travel surprising distances on still night air. A single night-blooming cereus flower can perfume an entire garden. Its molecular message broadcasting availability to pollinators that might be hundreds of meters away, navigating by scent alone through complete darkness. Bats, too, are essential nighttime plant partners. Over 500 plant species worldwide depend on bat pollination. These plants have evolved specific traits: large, sturdy flowers that can support a hovering bat, pale colors visible in moonlight, and copious nectar production to fuel the bat's high metabolism. Research on agave plants in Mexico showed that lesser long-nosed bats visit up to 100 flowers per night, carrying pollen vast distances between plants. Without these bats, the plants can't reproduce, and without the nectar, the bats can't survive their long migrations. The relationship is obligate, meaning both species depend on each other completely. This partnership plays out every night across deserts and tropical forests, invisible and essential. Meanwhile, predators hunt in the nighttime garden. Spiders position their webs to intercept night-flying insects attracted to flowers. Ambush bugs wait motionless on petals. Camouflaged and patient, praying mantises have been photographed by infrared cameras, hunting moths as they visit evening primrose. The flowers become stages for predation, attracting both pollinators and the predators that feed on them. This creates an evolutionary tension. Plants want to attract pollinators, but not so many that predators are drawn in. Research suggests some plants may adjust their nighttime signals to balance these competing pressures, producing just enough scent to attract sufficient pollinators without creating a feeding hotspot that draws spiders and hunting insects. The garden at night is a complex negotiation of attraction and risk. Leaves move for other reasons beyond circadian folding. Some plants respond to touch at night. The sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, closes its leaves within seconds when touched, a response that works equally well in darkness as in light. Recent studies found this movement is triggered by electrical signals that race through the plant at speeds up to 1 centimeter per second. The signal causes cells to release water, collapsing the leaf structure. Why this happens isn't entirely clear. It might deter nocturnal herbivores by startling them or by making the plant look wilted and unhealthy. Whatever the reason, the plant can sense and respond to physical contact without eyes, nerves, or muscles, using hydraulics and electrical signals instead. Some plants exhibit what's called sleep movement or nyctinisty. With such precision they've been used in circadian rhythm research. The plant Arabidopsis thaliana, a small flowering weed, has become the laboratory standard for studying plant clocks. Its leaves rise and fall with such regularity that scientists can use leaf position to determine the plant's internal time, accurate to within 20 minutes. Studies identified more than 30 different genes involved in regulating this simple up and down movement. The genetic network controlling a leaf's angle at night is remarkably intricate, involving feedback loops, multiple proteins, and light-sensing molecules. All that molecular machinery just to fold a leaf at sunset and raise it at dawn. Nature invests enormous complexity in seemingly simple behaviors. Nighttime isn't just about individual plants. It's when chemical conversations happen between species. Tomato plants, attacked by caterpillars, release airborne chemicals that attract parasitic wasps, which lay eggs in the caterpillars. Research found these distress signals are released in higher concentrations at night when many caterpillars are actively feeding the wasps, some species of which are nocturnal, follow the chemical trail to locate their prey. The plant is essentially calling for help, recruiting an ally to defend against attack. This three-way interaction, plant, herbivore, and predator, often peaks during darkness hours. The night garden is filled with invisible chemical messages, SOS signals floating through the air, summoning assistance, coordinating defenses across the boundaries between species and kingdoms of life. Underground, root growth pulses with remarkable synchronization. Studies using transparent soil substitutes and time-lapse photography showed that roots of multiple plant species growing near each other often elongate in coordinated bursts during nighttime hours. Researchers aren't sure if this is due to shared environmental signals, like temperature drops, or if plants are somehow communicating through chemical or electrical signals in the soil. Whatever the mechanism, the effect is clear. Roots push forward in waves, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes in sequences. The underground frontier advances in pulses, invisible beneath your feet, as roots quest for water and nutrients in darkness. The soil is more dynamic at night than most people imagine, constantly being explored and penetrated by growing root tips. Even grass follows these patterns. Lawn grass, which seems perfectly still on a calm night, is actually growing at its fastest rate during the hours before dawn. Studies measuring grass blade extension found peak growth between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., with growth rates 2 to 3 times higher than during midday hours. This is why lawn care experts recommend watering in the evening. The grass will use that moisture for nighttime growth. The same pattern applies to agricultural grasses like wheat and corn. Most height increase happens at night. Fields that appear unchanged at sunset have grown measurably by sunrise. The grasslands, prairies, and lawns of the world stretch upward silently in darkness, accumulating growth that becomes visible only over days and weeks. Temperature regulation is critical for nighttime plant survival. In cold climates, some plants produce antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystal formation inside their cells. These cryoprotective compounds increase in concentration during cold nights, reaching peak levels just before dawn, when temperatures are typically lowest. Research on winter wheat found that plants could sense temperature dropping and begin synthesizing antifreeze proteins within hours, preemptively protecting themselves. In tropical regions, the problem is opposite. Some plants actually generate heat at night through a process called thermogenesis. Skunk cabbage, for example, can raise its flower temperature by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius above ambient air, melting surrounding snow and releasing scent to attract pollinators. Heat production requires burning stored energy, but the reproductive advantage makes it worthwhile. Phototropism, the bending of plants toward light, is actually set in motion during the night. Research published in Nature Plants revealed that the cells on the shaded side of a stem begin elongating in darkness, preparing for the directional growth that will become visible at dawn. Special proteins called phototropins detect light gradients and trigger the redistribution of growth hormones. But the actual cellular expansion happens hours later, often during night hours. So when you see a houseplant bending toward a window, much of that bending occurred overnight. The plant sensed light direction during the day, then processed that information and executed the response during darkness. Movement you observe in daylight was often prepared and initiated the night before, in processes invisible until their effects accumulate. Seed germination, 2, has a nighttime component. Many seeds require both light exposure and a subsequent dark period to trigger germination. The light activates phytochrome proteins, which then undergo slow chemical changes during darkness. Research on lettuce seeds showed that germination rates were highest when seeds experienced alternating light-dark cycles that mimicked natural day-night conditions. Seeds kept in constant light or constant darkness germinated less successfully. This requirement ensures seeds germinate only when they're near the soil surface, where seedlings will have access to light for photosynthesis. The dark period acts as a confirmation signal. If the seed is buried too deep, it never experiences darkness, and it waits until erosion or disturbance brings it near enough to the surface to detect both light and dark. Some plants are sensitive to night length itself. This phenomenon, called photoperiodism, controls flowering time in many species. Poinsettias, for example, need at least 12 hours of uninterrupted darkness each night for several weeks to produce their red bracts. Chrysanthemums need even longer dark periods. Scientists discovered in classic experiments that it's actually the length of darkness, not daylight, that matters most. A brief flash of light during the night can prevent flowering completely. These plants measure night duration with remarkable precision, using it to determine what season it is. Long nights signal autumn or winter. Short nights indicate spring or summer. By tracking night length, plants know when to flower, ensuring pollination happens when conditions and pollinators are optimal for their reproduction. This sensitivity to night duration explains why your indoor plants sometimes behave strangely near artificial lights. A plant near a street lamp or nightlight experiences disrupted darkness, confusing its circadian rhythms and photoperiodic responses. Research on urban trees found that those growing near streetlights kept their leaves longer in autumn, delaying their normal seasonal response. The artificial light mimics summer conditions by shortening the perceived night length. Some urban plants flower at wrong times or fail to flower at all, their reproductive timing thrown off by light pollution. Even indoor houseplants can become confused by irregular light exposure from TV screens or hallway lights. Plants evolved their timing systems over millions of years of consistent light-dark cycles, now disrupted by human artificial illumination in ways we're only beginning to understand. You're still here, still awake, still drifting with us through these stories. Take a slow breath. Notice how your body feels a little heavier now. Settle deeper into your resting place. We're wandering through nature's quiet wisdom together. You and I and everyone listening in the peaceful dark. There's no rush, no destination, just gentle curiosity carrying us forward through these botanical secrets. Let's continue. Plants have memory, and some of that memory is formed at night. Research on mimosa plants showed they could learn patterns of stimulation if touched repeatedly at regular intervals. The plants eventually stopped closing their leaves, as if remembering the touches were harmless. This habituation persisted overnight. Plants trained in the evening still showed the learned response the next morning. Even more surprisingly, some plants could remember drought stress. Plants that experienced several nights of water deprivation would close their stomata more quickly during subsequent dry periods. Even weeks later, the mechanism isn't neural memory, but it functions similarly. Experience changes future behavior. Plants learn from their nights, adjusting their responses based on what they've encountered in previous episodes of darkness. The boundary between being awake and asleep, so meaningful for you as you drift off, has parallels in the plant world. Scientists debate whether plants truly sleep or simply enter a different metabolic state. Recent consensus, reflected in papers from recent years, suggests that nictinastic movements and circadian metabolic changes constitute a form of sleep. Not the same as animal sleep, but functionally similar. Plants in their sleep state are less responsive to stimuli, have reduced metabolic rates for some processes, and show distinctive electrical activity patterns. They rest, in their own way, using darkness to recover from the stresses of daylight, repair damage, and prepare for the next day. Sleep, perhaps, is a universal biological need, expressed differently by different forms of life. Even single-celled plants, algae floating in ponds, have circadian rhythms. Research on phytoplankton found that these microscopic organisms coordinate their cell division to occur during dark hours. Millions of algal cells split simultaneously just before dawn, creating daughter cells ready to begin photosynthesis at sunrise. The timing is so precise that oceanographers can estimate the time of day by sampling plankton populations and counting dividing cells. These organisms have no specialized tissues, no leaves to fold, no stems to position, yet they still track time, still respond to darkness, still organize their life processes around the day-night cycle. The circadian rhythm isn't a feature of complex plants. It's fundamental to photosynthetic life itself, present even in its simplest forms, drifting through dark water. Remarkably, plants can maintain their circadian rhythms even in extreme conditions. Experiments conducted on the International Space Station showed that plants grown in microgravity still exhibited normal circadian leaf movements, without gravity's directional pull, floating in a spacecraft laboratory. The plants still folded their leaves at regular intervals, matching a 24-hour cycle. They were tracking time using only their internal molecular clocks, independent of environmental cues. This suggests the circadian system in plants is deeply embedded, perhaps at the cellular level, not dependent on external signals, but rather evolved to anticipate them. Timekeeping appears to be fundamental to being a plant, as essential as chlorophyll or roots, built into the molecular architecture of every cell. The implications are profound. If plants are tracking time internally, predicting dawn, coordinating their physiology around the day-night cycle, then they're not merely responding to their environment, they're anticipating it. This requires a form of temporal awareness, a sense of when, even if not a sense of self. Recent papers have begun discussing plant cognition, plant intelligence, terms that were dismissed as unscientific decades ago. While plants don't have consciousness as you experience it, no thoughts, no emotions, no subjective awareness, they do process information, make decisions based on multiple inputs, and exhibit behaviors that optimize survival. The philosophical questions multiply when you consider what this means about the nature of intelligence, awareness, and life itself, and you, resting here in your own darkness. Share more with plants than you might think. Your body also runs on circadian rhythms, internal clocks that regulate sleep-wake cycles, hormone release, body temperature, and metabolism. Like plants, you have clock genes that create roughly 24-hour cycles through feedback loops of proteins building up and breaking down. Your cells, like theirs, anticipate dawn. When you feel sleepy at the same time each evening, you're experiencing the same kind of circadian regulation that causes leaves to fold at dusk. The mechanisms are different. You have a brain, neurons, specialized clock cells, but the principle is identical. You and the plant on your windowsill are both time-keeping organisms, synchronized to Earth's rotation, partners in the rhythm of planetary life. This connection goes deeper. Recent research has found that soil microbes, bacteria and fungi living among plant roots, also exhibit circadian rhythms. Microbial activity in soil peaks at certain times of day and night, possibly coordinated with the rhythm of root exudation. The sugars and compounds that roots release. The entire soil ecosystem pulses with circadian timing. When you walk on ground, you're walking on a surface that experiences time, where millions of organisms are coordinating their activities with the day-night cycle beneath your feet. The circadian rhythm isn't limited to individual organisms. It's a property of ecosystems, a shared temporal organization linking bacteria, fungi, roots, leaves, insects, animals, and humans in coordinated rhythms under the same sky. This shared timing might explain why exposure to nature can regulate human sleep. Studies found that people who spend time in forests or gardens during the day report better sleep quality at night. Researchers propose that natural light exposure, fresh air, and perhaps even volatile organic compounds from plants help synchronize human circadian rhythms. Plants themselves might be releasing signals that affect your brain's time-keeping systems. The forest isn't just peaceful scenery. It's a complex chemical and sensory environment that your body responds to, possibly helping reset your own internal clock to better match natural day-night cycles. Being among plants during their active day hours might prepare you for better rest during their rest hours. Alignment, creating mutual benefit. Halfway through our quiet journey, a pattern emerges. Plants don't simply endure darkness. They use it, structure their lives around it, depend on it for essential processes. Nighttime isn't the absence of activity, but a different kind of activity. Rest isn't cessation, but continuation at a different rhythm. Sleep, whether in plants or in your own body, isn't shutting down. It's changing modes, switching from energy acquisition to energy use, from external interaction to internal maintenance. The question, what happens to plants while you sleep, reveals a deeper truth. Plants are doing similar work during darkness that you are, growing, repairing, preparing, communicating, responding to time itself. The boundary between plant life and human life blurs when viewed through the lens of circadian biology and nighttime activity. And so we've discovered that space, that dark hour from sunset to sunrise, is full, not empty, not dormant, but active with different processes than daylight. Chemical reactions continue, cells divide, roots extend, messages are sent, partnerships are maintained, time is measured, memory is formed. All of this happens quietly, without fanfare, in the darkness that seems so still. The plant world at night is as busy as the plant world during the day, just differently busy, prioritizing different needs, running different programs from their genetic code as you sink deeper into your own rest. Let this knowledge settle too. The living world doesn't pause when lights go out. It simply breathes out instead of in, continuing the same dance in a different rhythm. Let each breath guide you to realize time is yours, a separate stream that only you are living, while the vast network of plants continues to grow, breathe, and change. This second you're breathing, listening, is unique. Cherish the present moment, knowing that right now, plants around the world are folding their leaves. Roots are extending through soil, and you're connected to all of it through the simple fact of nighttime, and we continue drifting. Some plants produce light themselves at night. Bioluminescent fungi that grow on trees glow with a soft greenish light, bright enough to read by in complete darkness, according to historical accounts. Research identified the enzyme responsible, a luciferase similar to that found in fireflies. The glow attracts nighttime insects, which then spread the fungal spores. In recent years, scientists have successfully engineered plants that glow, including tobacco plants and petunias. By introducing genes from bioluminescent fungi, the goal isn't decoration but practical. Glowing plants could someday replace streetlights, providing sustainable biological illumination. Imagine forests that light themselves at night, trees glowing softly, turning darkness into a gentle twilight through nothing but biological chemistry. The oldest trees on Earth have experienced countless nights. Tens of thousands of them, bristlecone pines in California, some over 4,800 years old, have seen nearly 2 million sunsets, every single night for nearly 5 millennia. These trees have folded through the same cycles, stomata closing, respiration continuing, growth pulsing in darkness, then dawn arriving again. They've survived through climate changes, droughts, fires. What they've learned about survival is encoded in their wood, ring by ring, each circle representing 1 year of nights and days. These ancient beings remind us that life persists through repetition of simple patterns, day following night following day, for longer than human civilizations have existed. In tropical rainforests, the nighttime soundscape is created partly by plants. As leaves cool after sunset, they release trapped moisture, creating a gentle dripping sound. Bamboo stalks rub against each other in evening breezes. Flowers opening make faint popping sounds. Audio recordings captured petals unfurling with tiny mechanical clicks. The forest after dark is subtly noisy with botanical sounds, most too quiet for humans to hear without amplification. But nocturnal animals likely use these acoustic cues. A moth might hear a flower opening. A bat might detect water droplets falling from leaves. The rainforest at night is a symphony of small sounds, many produced by plants simply being plants, existing and changing through darkness. Plant electricity changes at night. Yes, plants generate small electrical currents as ions move across cell membranes. These electrical signals coordinate responses like the rapid leaf folding in sensitive plants. Recent research using electrodes inserted into tree trunks found that electrical activity patterns change from day to night. The trees weren't just quieter electrically at night. They showed different rhythms, different frequencies of electrical pulse. Scientists aren't sure what these nocturnal electrical patterns mean or what they coordinate, but trees are clearly processing information electrically, and that processing changes when darkness falls. The forest has an electrical dimension, a network of tiny currents flowing through living wood, patterns shifting with the cycle of light and dark. Mosses and lichens become active at night when dew forms. These plants lack roots and depend on atmospheric moisture. During dry days, they're dormant, barely alive. But when evening dew settles on their surfaces, they rehydrate within minutes and begin photosynthesis. Or rather, they prepare for photosynthesis by absorbing water and nutrients. Studies using chlorophyll fluorescence imaging showed that moss photosynthetic machinery begins reactivating during nighttime hydration, before any light is available. The moss is getting ready for dawn, using the moisture from darkness to prime its systems. Morning dew, which seems like a daytime phenomenon, actually falls at night, and whole communities of small plants rely on it to survive. Deciduous trees that drop their leaves in autumn spend winters in a deep dormancy. But even then, processes continue. Buds formed the previous summer remain alive through winter, preparing for spring. Inside those tiny buds, compressed leaves and flowers wait in suspended development. Recent studies found that even in winter dormancy, trees maintain low levels of metabolism. Cells slowly synthesize antifreeze proteins. Water is carefully managed to prevent damaging ice formation. The tree isn't dead, merely waiting, and it's tracking time even in dormancy, measuring the duration of winter through some mechanism not fully understood. So it knows when spring has arrived, and it's safe to break bud and begin growing again. Night dew forms through a beautiful physical process. As temperatures drop after sunset, air near plant surfaces cools below its dew point, causing water vapor to condense into liquid droplets. The water appears to materialize from nothing, coating leaves and grass with millions of tiny spheres. Each droplet is a lens, catching whatever light exists: moonlight, starlight, and scattering it. A dew-covered meadow at night sparkles faintly if you shine a light across it. And plants harvest this water. Small surface hairs on leaves capture dew droplets and channel them towards stomata where they can be absorbed. Desert plants especially depend on dew, sometimes collecting more water from nighttime condensation than from rare rainfalls. The relationship between plants and the moon has sparked centuries of folklore, and some of it holds truth. Studies on rhythmic growth in mangroves and seaweeds confirmed they respond to lunar tidal cycles. The mechanism involves both water pressure changes and subtle gravitational effects. But moonlight itself affects plants too. Experiments showed that moonlight, though 400,000 times dimmer than sunlight, is bright enough to trigger phytochrome responses in some species. Plants can see the moon, sensing its light and potentially using it to track monthly cycles. The full moon registers in the plant's sensory system, possibly helping synchronize reproductive timing for species that evolved to flower on particular lunar phases. Roots communicate chemically through the night. When one plant is attacked by insects, its roots release chemical signals into the soil that neighboring plants detect. Research using split root systems showed that plants receiving these underground warnings began producing defensive compounds before they themselves were attacked. The signaling happens through both root-emitted chemicals and through fungal networks connecting root systems. These messages travel slowly. It might take hours for a warning to spread through a plant community, but they're effective. By morning, a cluster of plants can be chemically prepared for threats one plant encountered the evening before. The underground network shares information continuously, with most transmission happening at night. Sugar transport from leaves to roots accelerates at night. Scientists using radioactive tracers found that sugar molecules synthesized during the day begin their journey downward after sunset. The phloem, tubes that carry dissolved sugars, show peak flow rates during nighttime hours. This makes sense metabolically. During the day, the plant prioritizes moving water and nutrients upward to support photosynthesis. At night, the priority reverses. Now the plant needs to distribute the energy it captured, sending sugars to roots for growth and storage, to developing flowers for reproduction, to seeds for maturation. The traffic flow inside the plant reverses with the setting sun. Resources redistributed downward and outward, fueling the nighttime work of growth and preparation. Even aquatic plants follow nighttime patterns. Water lilies close their flowers at dusk and sink slightly beneath the surface, a movement controlled by changes in the air spaces within their stems. Seagrasses and kelp reduce photosynthesis to zero at night but maintain respiration, consuming oxygen from the surrounding water. In some coastal areas, dense seagrass beds can deplete nighttime oxygen levels, enough to stress fish populations, a phenomenon called nocturnal hypoxia. The interaction between plant respiration and animal oxygen needs creates a daily cycle in underwater oxygen concentration. Marine creatures have adapted to these rhythms, many species moving or changing behavior based on the oxygen patterns created by plant nighttime metabolism. Germinating seeds do most of their initial growth at night. Research on corn and bean seedlings found that the embryonic root emerges from the seed coat primarily during dark hours. The process is driven by cell expansion. Cells absorb water and swell, generating physical force that cracks the seed coat and pushes the root tip into soil. This expansion happens faster at night when temperatures are cooler and moisture is more available. The tiny seedling, which has no leaves yet and cannot photosynthesize, is living on stored energy from the seed. Its first act of independent life happens in darkness, a root pushing blindly downward, seeking soil and stability before the shoot emerges upward toward light. Pollination by bats deserves closer attention. These mammals pollinate over 500 plant species, including several economically important ones: agave for tequila, bananas, mangoes. The bat-plant relationship has driven unique adaptations. Some flowers open only at night, exactly when their bat pollinators are active. They produce large amounts of dilute nectar, suited to the bat's need for fluid. The flowers are often positioned away from foliage to allow flying access. And crucially, they emit strong scents heavy with sulfur compounds. Attractive to bats but unpleasant to humans, when a bat hovers at such a flower, lapping nectar with its long tongue, pollen dusts its face and neck. It carries this pollen to the next flower, enabling fertilization that happens entirely in darkness. Moths, those overlooked nighttime workers, are incredibly diverse. Over 160,000 moth species exist worldwide, far more than butterfly species. Many are specialized for particular flowers. The yucca moth, for example, actively gathers pollen, forms it into a ball, and deliberately places it on the stigma of yucca flowers while laying eggs in the ovary. This active pollination is rare among insects, most of which pollinate accidentally. The moth's larvae feed on some of the developing seeds, but not all, ensuring the plant still reproduces. This sophisticated interaction evolved over millions of years, tightening until plant and moth became completely dependent on each other, neither capable of reproduction without the other's nighttime participation. We now understand that nighttime is not interruption. It's essential. Plants need darkness as much as they need light. Continuous light prevents many plants from flowering because they never receive the dark period signal. Constant illumination stresses plants, disrupting their circadian rhythm and reducing growth. Studies comparing plants under natural day-night cycles versus constant light found the natural rhythm produced healthier, more productive plants. The cycle of light and dark, activity and rest, energy capture and energy use, is fundamental to plant biology. They evolved for a rotating planet, for rhythmic alternation between exposure and protection, work and rest. Darkness is not something plants merely tolerate. It's something they require, depend on, and actively use. Plant hormones surge and recede with nighttime rhythms. Auxin, the growth hormone, accumulates on the shaded side of stems at night, causing elongation that bends plants toward remembered light sources. Ethylene, which triggers fruit ripening, is often produced at higher rates during dark hours. Cytokinins, which promote cell division, follow circadian patterns in concentration. These hormones don't just happen to fluctuate. Their rhythm is controlled by the circadian clock, timed to coordinate with other processes. The plant's endocrine system, if you can call it that, pulses with time, each hormone waxing and waning in patterns that have been refined over evolutionary time to maximize survival and reproduction. Nitrogen fixation by legume root nodules peaks at night. These plants form partnerships with bacteria that convert atmospheric nitrogen into usable compounds. The process requires significant energy, and studies found that legumes schedule most nitrogen fixation for nighttime hours when their energy demands are lower. The plant provides sugars to the bacteria, which use them to power nitrogen conversion. The fixed nitrogen is then absorbed by the plant and used to build proteins and DNA. This exchange is carefully timed. The plant delivers sugar after photosynthesis has finished and receives nitrogen that will be used the next day for growth. Even elemental cycles, the fundamental movement of atoms through ecosystems, pulse with day-night rhythms. Desert plants have evolved remarkable nighttime strategies. Cacti and succulents, using CAM photosynthesis, do the opposite of most plants. They close stomata during hot days and open them during cool nights to absorb carbon dioxide. This inverted schedule reduces water loss dramatically, but it creates a problem. They collect carbon dioxide at night when they can't use it for photosynthesis. So they store it chemically in organic acids, then break down those acids during the day to release the carbon dioxide internally for photosynthesis, while stomata remain closed. It's an elegant solution to a harsh problem, allowing plants to inhabit environments where conventional photosynthesis would be suicidal. The desert at night belongs to plants that breathe backward. Epiphytes, plants growing on other plants, face unique nighttime challenges. Orchids, bromeliads, and tillandsias perched in tree canopies have no access to soil water. They depend entirely on rain, fog, and dew. Many have specialized leaves with absorbent scales that capture water droplets. At night, when humidity increases and dew forms, these plants actively absorb moisture through their leaves. Some bromeliads form cups that collect water, creating tiny elevated ponds. Frogs breed in these aerial pools. Insects lay eggs. Entire micro-ecosystems develop in water collected by epiphytic plants, all dependent on nighttime dew and occasional rain. The canopy at night is wetter, more active, more alive than daytime conditions suggest. Allelopathy, chemical warfare between plants, continues at night. Black walnut trees release juglone, a toxic compound that inhibits growth of nearby plants. Sunflowers produce chemicals that suppress weeds. Research found that many allelopathic compounds are released primarily from roots during nighttime hours, leaching into surrounding soil where they persist and affect other plants. This chemical competition is invisible and slow but effective. Over seasons, allelopathic plants gradually clear space around themselves, creating zones where competitors struggle. The battlefield is chemical. The weapons are molecules, and much of the combat occurs underground, in darkness. The plant world is engaged in constant competition, with nighttime being a prime time for chemical tactics. Plant stems sometimes grow in pulses that can be measured in real time with sensitive instruments. Bean seedlings, monitored with laser position sensors, showed growth spurts lasting several minutes, followed by pauses. The spurts were more frequent and larger during nighttime hours. Each pulse represents a wave of cell expansion moving up the stem, coordinated by hormone signals. The stem doesn't grow smoothly, but in tiny jumps, like a clock ticking upward. Time-lapse footage spanning entire nights shows this pulsing growth clearly. The plant jerking upward incrementally, pausing, jerking, again. Life itself pulses, rhythmic and punctuated, even in something as seemingly steady and slow as a growing stem reaching quietly toward where light will eventually appear. Fallen leaves decomposing on the forest floor break down faster at night when humidity is high. Fungi and bacteria driving decomposition are more active in moist conditions. Studies measuring carbon dioxide release from leaf litter found higher rates during night hours, indicating accelerated microbial activity. This means nutrient cycling, the process of breaking down dead material and returning nutrients to soil, is enhanced at night. The forest floor is busier after dark. Decomposers working through the leaf litter, converting plant tissues back into soil organic matter that will nourish the next generation. Death feeds life continuously. But the process accelerates when darkness and moisture create optimal conditions for the invisible decomposers that transform what has ended into what will begin. Some plants are simply more beautiful at night. Night-blooming cereus opens huge white flowers that last only one night, filling the air with jasmine-like fragrance. Each plant might bloom just once or twice per year, making the event rare and precious. People throw night-blooming parties, gathering to witness the flower unfurl. The bloom begins at dusk, petals slowly separating, until by midnight the flower is fully open, sometimes 12 inches across. By dawn, it's wilting, and within a day, it's completely closed and will never open again. That single night is the flower's entire moment of glory. Its brief opportunity for pollination, its singular performance under stars, ephemeral beauty blooming only in darkness, gone by morning. Circadian disruption in plants from artificial light is increasingly studied. Streetlights delay autumn leaf drop in urban trees. Light pollution prevents some plants from flowering. Nocturnal pollinators are disoriented by lights, reducing pollination success. But interestingly, some plants adapt. Research found that urban plants exposed to constant artificial light for multiple generations showed altered circadian rhythms, shifting their timing to better match the new light environment. Evolution happening in real time. Adaptation within decades. The plants aren't necessarily healthier, but they're adjusting. Life finds ways to persist even when fundamental environmental rhythms are disrupted. The flexibility of circadian systems, honed over billions of years, allows some tolerance even for unprecedented changes. At this point in our journey, the answer to our title question becomes clear. Plants while you sleep are growing, breathing, moving, sensing, communicating, defending, reproducing. They're active participants in nighttime, not passive objects waiting for dawn. Your sleep and their nighttime activities are parallel processes, both essential, both restorative, both using darkness for work that can't be done in light. You're not separate from the botanical world resting around you. You're part of the same rhythm, responding to the same planets spinning through space, experiencing the same transition from light to dark, engaging in your own version of the ancient pattern that all life follows, the cycle of day and night, work and rest, being and becoming. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. Plants sleep and wake. Earth spins through light and shadow. Seasons turn. All are circles, cycles, endless rhythms, like your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. A small cycle within the vast pattern. You are also part of that eternal movement. You don't need to hold on to anything. Let everything unfold in its perfect order, like leaves folding at dusk and opening at dawn. Unhurried, unresisting, simply existing. We're almost there now. The stars plants navigate by have been constant for millennia. Plants have no eyes, yet they respond to light direction, intensity, even polarization. Some aquatic plants can sense which way is up by detecting polarized light filtering through water. Sunflowers track the sun's path until they mature, then face permanently east. This orientation isn't random. Flowers facing east warm faster at dawn, attracting more pollinators. Ancient patterns of light, unchanged since plants first evolved on land, still guide them. The same stars you see above guided the first forests. Connection through time, through light itself. Evolution shaped plants alongside the night. Flowering plants evolved around 140 million years ago, and nocturnal pollinators likely appeared shortly after. Moths and night-flowering plants co-evolved, each adaptation in one, driving changes in the other. Longer flower tubes led to longer moth tongues. Better night vision in moths led to subtler flower signals. This evolutionary dance happened over countless dark nights. Tiny variations accumulating until we have today's specialized partnerships. The night shaped life as much as day did, selecting for adaptations to darkness just as intensely as adaptations to light. Your breath right now contains carbon atoms that were once inside a plant. The oxygen filling your lungs was released by plant photosynthesis. Possibly months ago, possibly yesterday. When you exhale carbon dioxide, plants will absorb it and incorporate those carbon atoms into their tissues. This exchange, oxygen for carbon, carbon for oxygen, connects you physically to the botanical world. You're trading atoms with plants continuously. The boundary between you and them is permeable, temporary. You're both temporary arrangements of atoms that flow constantly between living things, connecting everything through breath. Water inside your body might have passed through a plant recently. The water cycle moves molecules from ocean to cloud, to rain, to soil, to root, to leaf, to air, to cloud again. The water you drink today could have been inside a tree last week, transported from roots to leaves, evaporated into the atmosphere, fallen as rain, filtered through soil into groundwater, and flowed into your tap. You're recycling the same water dinosaurs drank, the same water that flowed through ancient ferns. We all share one planetary supply, endlessly cycling. Plants created the oxygen-rich atmosphere you depend on for billions of years. Earth's air contained almost no oxygen. Then cyanobacteria and early plants began photosynthesis, slowly adding oxygen as a waste product. Over hundreds of millions of years, oxygen accumulated until the air became breathable for animals. Every breath you take is possible because plants transformed the atmosphere. They built the air itself, molecule by molecule. Over evolutionary time, you exist in a world made habitable by plants. They literally created the conditions for your life. The soil beneath you is partly made of plants, dead leaves, roots, stems. All break down into organic matter that mixes with mineral particles. Rich soil is sometimes 5% organic material by weight, all derived from plant tissues, the fertility that grows crops. Gardens. Forests comes from plants feeding the soil that feeds more plants. This cycle has been operating since plants colonized land 470 million years ago. The ground itself is built from life, layer upon layer, the dead nourishing the living in endless succession. Your body carries genetic echoes of plant life. All life shares a common ancestor billions of years ago. Some cellular machinery in your cells, mitochondria, which produce energy, evolved from ancient bacteria related to the ones that became chloroplasts. The basic biochemistry of life is universal. You and plants use the same genetic code, the same basic cellular structures, the same fundamental processes. At the molecular level, the boundaries blur. Life is one phenomenon, one chemistry, expressing itself through different forms. Plants and humans are variations on a theme, branches of the same ancient tree. Indigenous cultures understood this connection intuitively. Many traditions speak of plants as relatives, as beings deserving respect and gratitude. Modern science, arriving through different paths, reaches similar conclusions. Plants are not mere resources. They're living systems with their own rhythms, responses, and requirements. They sense their environment, communicate, cooperate, compete. Remember, they're not conscious as you are, but they're not simply mechanical either. They exist in a middle space, neither object nor subject, simply alive in their own plant way. When you spend time among plants, measurable changes occur in your body. Blood pressure drops, stress hormones decrease, attention improves. The Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, has been studied extensively. Walking in forests affects human physiology in ways that urban environments don't. Perhaps we evolved surrounded by plants, and our bodies still recognize that ancestral environment as safe, as home, or perhaps the phytoncides, airborne chemicals plants release, have direct effects on human immune and nervous systems. Either way, proximity to plants changes you physically. Nighttime in nature can recalibrate your own circadian rhythm. Exposure to natural darkness, away from artificial lights, helps reset melatonin production to more natural patterns. Camping studies found that people's sleep-wake cycles synchronized with sunrise and sunset within just a few days. Your body, like a plant's, is tracking light and dark, adjusting its internal chemistry accordingly. Modern life disrupts this ancient pattern, but it's not lost. The mechanisms remain, waiting for the natural darkness that plants also use to regulate their lives. So could nighttime plant activity change how we understand nature? It already has. The discovery that plants actively use darkness, that they have circadian rhythms and complex responses to night, transformed botany from describing static forms to understanding dynamic processes. Plants aren't objects in space. They're events in time, beings that exist through change, through cycles, through response and adaptation. This changes what it means to be a plant, what it means to be alive, and what it means to share a planet with other living things. More importantly, it changes how we see ourselves. You are also a being in time, cycling through rest and activity, dependent on light and dark, part of planetary rhythms. Your sleep isn't separate from nature. It's an expression of nature, a human version of the universal pattern. When darkness falls, you and the plants both enter your restorative phases, both essential, both beautiful. You are not separate from the world. You are continuous with it, participating in rhythms older than any species, older than forests, ancient as life itself. The plant in your bedroom, if you have one, is your companion in darkness. While you sleep, it respires quietly, processing oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide, reversing the daytime flow. Its leaves may be folded. Its growth might pulse slightly upward. It's measuring time through molecular oscillations. If you wake in the night, the plant is awake too in its way, not waiting for dawn, but actively engaged in nighttime work. You are two different forms of life, sharing the same dark hours, both using rest productively. This recognition fosters kinship. You and plants are distant relatives, branches of the same evolutionary tree separated by billions of years but still sharing fundamental biology. You both extract energy from chemical bonds. You both build proteins from amino acids. You both pass genetic information to offspring. The difference between animal and plant is real but not absolute. You're both alive, both temporary, both part of the same story. This night is equally yours and theirs. Shared time in shared space on a shared planet. So what happens to plants while you sleep? Everything necessary for tomorrow's survival. Growth, repair, communication, preparation. The same essential work happening in your own cells. Waste clearance, memory processing, tissue rebuilding, both of you engaged in the quiet labor that only darkness allows, both continuing life through different means but toward the same end. Another day, another cycle, another turn through time. The answer isn't what happens to plants, it's what happens to life. Life continues. Let that settle. Life continues in darkness. Plants aren't waiting for light. They're using darkness. You aren't waiting for morning. You're using night. Rest isn't absence of activity, but different activity. Internal work that can't be done during external engagement. Darkness enables as much as light does, provides as much as light provides. The night is not the opposite of day. It's the complement, the necessary other half, the yin to day's yang, both required, both valuable, both sacred in their way. This understanding can ease your own relationship with sleep. If plants must have darkness, maybe you must too. Maybe resistance to sleep is resistance to nature itself. Maybe insomnia is partly cultural, forgetting that darkness is necessary, natural, beneficial, lying awake. You might remember that every plant around you is also awake in its way, engaged in essential work. You're not wasting time, you're in restoration mode. Like the plant, you're preparing for the light that will come. Gratitude arises naturally from this recognition. Thank you, plants, for the oxygen, for the food, for the beauty, for sharing this darkness with us, for demonstrating that rest is active, that night is necessary, that life includes both light and shadow. You teach without teaching, show without showing. Your quiet existence is instruction enough. In your folding leaves and nocturnal growth, you reveal that rest is not failure, but wisdom, not weakness, but strength. Not loss, but gain. Tomorrow, the sun will rise, leaves will unfold, stomata will open, photosynthesis will resume. But that's tomorrow. Right now is night. And night has its own purpose. The world doesn't pause. It transforms. Energy use instead of energy capture. Internal focus instead of external engagement. Growth instead of production. Repair instead of creation. Night isn't waiting for day. Night is doing what only night can do. And so are you. Whether you sleep or simply rest here, present in darkness. The plants outside your window are with you. The trees down the street are with you. The forests across continents are with you. All of them in their nighttime mode. Leaves folded or positioned. Respiration continuing. Growth pulsing. Time being measured by molecular clocks. You're part of that planetary rhythm. Your circadian system connects you to every photosynthetic organism on Earth. All of you tracking the same spin of the planet. All of you responding to the same cycle of light and shadow. This connection isn't metaphorical. It's physical, chemical, biological. The atoms in your body came from plants and will return to plants. The oxygen you breathe came from plants and will be absorbed by plants. The carbon dioxide you exhale will be carbon in plant tissues tomorrow. You're exchanging atoms constantly, trading molecules, interconnected through breath and chemistry. You are literally made of the same stuff, arranged differently, animated by the same fundamental processes. Alive together on the same planet. Maybe this is what it means to fall asleep, to surrender to the pattern, to accept your place in the cycle, to stop resisting the rhythm that governs all earthly life. You can't stay in daylight mode forever. You need darkness. Your body requires it. Your brain depends on it. Like the plant requiring its hours of night to prepare for hours of day. You need to fold your own leaves, quiet your own respiration, enter your own version of botanical rest. The boundary between waking and sleeping mirrors the boundary between day and night. Gradual, liminal, neither sudden nor absolute. Twilight lasts, dusk lingers. Consciousness fades slowly, like light draining from the sky. You drift towards sleep the way day drifts toward night. Naturally, inevitably, following a rhythm too deep to resist. Fighting it only creates suffering. Accepting it brings peace. The plant doesn't struggle against dusk. Neither must you struggle against sleep. Let it come. We've come so far together tonight. From leaves folding to roots growing to flowers opening to moths flying to time being measured. From simple observation to deep connection. From facts about plants to truths about existence. The journey wasn't random. Each fact built on the last. Each idea prepared for the next. All of it leading here. To recognition that you and plants share this night, share this moment, share this breath, share this life. And so the final truth, plants and people belong to each other, not through domestication or utility, but through shared biology, shared rhythm, shared planet, shared existence in time. When you sleep, plants are active. When plants rest, you are active. Together, you weave the full pattern of earthly life. You need each other. Practically, yes, but also spiritually. existentially, as reminders that all life is one continuous phenomenon, expressing itself through infinite forms. All beautiful, all necessary, all connected, all sacred. And so, our quiet journey through the hidden life of plants comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from leaves folding themselves to sleep to roots extending through dark soil, discovering along the way that nighttime is never empty, never still, never truly dark if you know where to look. From circadian clocks ticking inside green cells to moths carrying pollen through shadow, we've glimpsed how botanical life is both deeply familiar and beautifully strange. The patterns we found: rest and activity, repair and growth, independence and connection, echo in your own life, proving that you and plants are distant relatives walking parallel paths through time. Plants remind us that darkness is necessary, not optional. Much of their most essential work happens in silence, underground or inside cells, in processes too small or slow to see. They demonstrate patience, resilience, and adaptation without ever speaking or moving quickly. Without their nighttime respiration, growth, and preparation, they couldn't survive the demands of daylight. By noticing their quiet persistence, we glimpse something true about all life: that rest is productive, that darkness enables light, that the invisible foundations matter as much as what shows on the surface. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can, as deep as possible. Think about unity of every atom, every organism, every breath in the biosphere. You are not separate. You are a link in the endless chain. The carbon in your cells came from plants and will return to plants. The oxygen in your lungs was their gift. The food that built your body was their tissue. You are made of plant matter, transformed, temporarily arranged in human form. Let your entire being dissolve into that recognition. You are earth, water, air, sunlight, and plant, all of it combined for just a while, then released back into the cycle. Prepare for deep sleep where boundaries disappear and only connection remains, only peace, only oneness with the breathing world. If these calm stories from the nighttime garden helped you relax or drift closer to sleep tonight, a gentle like, subscribe, or sharing your thoughts could help another tired soul discover this peaceful rest. It might be exactly what someone else needs to finally let go and drift. One quiet tap, one peaceful night, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight, deeper into the green world than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of plants and darkness to fade now, like dew evaporating at sunrise, leaving only the gentle calm behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier, as if roots were growing from your limbs into the mattress, anchoring you, connecting you to the earth itself. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a seed drifting on wind, smoothly, inevitably, into a realm where time and weight no longer matter. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, plants will still be growing. Leaves will still be folding at dusk, Roots will still be extending through soil in darkness. But tonight belongs to stillness, to rest, to the quiet understanding that you and the green world are part of one living system, breathing together under the same stars. Rest well, fellow traveler, and remember, while you sleep, the world grows. While you rest, life continues. While you dream, plants are dreaming too, in their own wordless way. Both of you held safely in the gentle darkness that makes everything possible. Fall asleep to gentle facts. Where science meets sleep. Dream deeper with bedtime science. Relax, listen, and drift into sleep. Good night.